Welcome to Book to Blueprint, where powerful books become practical blueprints for real life. You do not need more information, you need execution. This is Book to Blueprint. Today, we're diving into Dave Ramsey's Build a Business You Love, but we're not just going to summarize it. Nope, we're turning it into a straight up operating system for you. Think of this as an actionable blueprint you can put to work literally the second this is over. Okay, so here's the plan. First, we're going to nail down the core outcome. What's the end game? Then we'll look at the 6 drivers that are going to power your business. After that, we'll walk through a 5-stage implementation plan step by step. And of course, we'll cover the habits you need and the big mistakes to steer clear of. Let's get into it. First things first, your core outcome. Before we get lost in all the how-to stuff, we have to be crystal clear on the what. What is the actual destination here? What are we really building? And here it is. This is the whole point right here. The goal isn't just to have a successful business. No, it's to build one that runs without you. You're literally building a system designed to make you obsolete. The idea is that it should thrive whether you're there or not. That's the real wing. Okay, so how in the world do you build a business that runs itself? Well, you need an engine. And in this blueprint, that engine is called the 6 business drivers. Seriously, think of these as the core operating system for everything else we're going to talk about. And I love this analogy to use, a water wheel. It's just perfect, right? Because this isn't some checklist you just power through once. It's a cycle. Each part fills up the next one, creating this constant momentum. And here's the kicker. If you try to skip a step, the whole thing just freezes up. It stops. So here they are, the 6 drivers, and the order is super important. It all starts with personal, with you. From there, it flows into your purpose, then your people, your plan, your product, and finally, profit. And that profit, it just fuels the whole cycle all over again. You're going to be coming back to B6 constantly. All right, now we get to the real meat of this thing, the 5-stage implementation plan. And listen, this is not theory. This is a step-by-step playbook. Your only job right now is to figure out which stage you're in, because that's going to tell you exactly what to do next. Okay, stage 1, the treadmill operator. Does that sound familiar? You're working your tail off harder than ever, but you feel like you're just running in place? Yep, that's this stage. It's where pretty much everyone starts, and our number one goal is to get you off that thing. So how do you get off? Your entire focus needs to be on one thing, financial control. You win stage 1 when you create your first real budget and you start planning for retained earnings. Look, this isn't about grinding harder. It's about knowing your numbers inside and out so you can actually afford to hire help and grow at what the book calls the speed of cash. No debt involved. Okay, so you made it. You're off the treadmill. You've got some help on board. Awesome. But now there's a new problem. Chaos. Welcome to stage 2, the pathfinder. Your job now completely shifts. You have to become the one who cuts through all that noise and confusion to create one single clear direction for everybody. Winning this stage is all about one word, alignment. It's pretty simple, really. The goal is to get your team to the point where they just get it. They can deliver consistently without you having to be there. And you do that with 2 big moves. First, define your mission, your vision, your core values. And second, give every single person role clarity, what they call KRAs, or key results areas. That way, everybody knows their job and exactly what winning looks like for them. All right, the team's aligned, things are humming along. Now it's time to hit the gas. This is stage 3, trailblazer. But here's the challenge. You can't be the only leader anymore. It just won't work. To really grow, you've got to build a system. And this is key, a leadership team that can operate without you being in the room for every decision. The big aha moment here is moving away from your own personal heroics and toward building systems that can scale. You win this stage by developing other leaders, by creating a real 3 to 5 year strategic plan, and by putting repeatable processes in place. That's how you grow without just throwing more bodies at the problem. So you've scaled up. You're operating at a super high level. Congratulations, you're in stage 4, the peak performer. But listen closely, because the biggest threat now, it's not some competitor out there. It's decay from the inside. Your new challenge is to defend the very culture that got you to this point. Your job literally changes from builder to defender. Look, winning at this stage requires being ruthless, ruthlessly intentional. Your culture isn't something that just happens anymore. It's a critical asset you have to actively protect. When your core values are truly lived out by every single person, every single day, you unlock what the book calls the momentum theorem. It's this incredible force where the culture itself pushes the business forward and becomes something your competitors just can't copy. You did it. I mean, you actually did it. You have a thriving, profitable business that's at the top of its game. So, what's next? Well, the final stage, the legacy builder. The very last challenge is to make sure this incredible machine you've built keeps on running long after you stepped away. And this brings us all the way back around, full circle, to that core outcome we talked about at the very beginning. You win this last stage by, well, making yourself obsolete. You create a clear succession plan, you hand the keys over to the leaders you've developed, and the business you poured your life into becomes a true legacy. It thrives because of the system you built, not because you're there every day. Okay, so we've walked through the 5 stages, but what does this actually look like day to day? Because this whole system, it's not a one and done project. It's really a set of key recurring behaviors, habits you need to bake into the daily and weekly rhythm of your business. And what's cool is how specific and trackable these are. You're not just the CEO anymore. You're the CRO, the Chief Reminding Officer. You don't just make a budget once a year. You always work from a detailed budget. See? These aren't just fluffy goals. They're the real, practical, in-the-trenches disciplines that make this entire blueprint actually work. And finally, to make sure you stay on the path, we've got to talk about the guardrails. It is just as important to know what not to do as it is to know what to do. So let's quickly cover the common mistakes that can totally wreck this whole plan. Seriously, avoiding these mistakes is half the battle. The biggest, most fundamental one, aiming at nothing, just kind of drifting along without a real strategy. This blueprint forces you to replace that drift with intentional planning. And that same idea applies across the board. Replace debt with cash, replace your own heroisms with repeatable systems, and for goodness sake, respect the process. Don't try to skip the steps. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? If you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. A business that runs itself, that doesn't just happen. It's not an accident. It's the direct result of being deliberate, being intentional, and executing a plan. So let's bring this all home and make it real for you. Here's your call to action. I want you to look back at those 5 stages we just covered and be brutally honest with yourself about where you are right now. Then answer this question. What is the number one thing, the single most important action your business needs from you this week? Whatever that is, that's your first step. Go do that. If you have a book in mind that should be added to our list, comment below. If this blueprint helped you, subscribe, like, and build with us. More blueprints are coming. Stay intentional, stay consistent. We are doing this one book at a time. And remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So share this with them and grow together. Real progress becomes stronger when it is shared. Build your life one blueprint at a time. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you do.